and we're gonna wait a bit for more people to tune in before we start with topics.
You know what? You think I should put this on my cubing Instagram story?
If you'd like.
All right.
Good. Okay.
Shit.
Okay. So we're gonna wait a bit till more people join the stream, and then we're gonna start. Did they literally just apologize for a 3-second delay? Unfortunately, the delay was a bit longer, but if you didn't notice, that's not a problem. So, hey everyone, today is the second 4x4 related Team SCS Talks stream. I'm the host once again because Kian couldn't host the stream today, and the two guests are Choi and Nathan Soria. So, we're gonna wait a bit until we start with the actual 4x4 related stuff because it'd be good for all the people who want to tune in to watch for them to actually be watching the stream. So yeah, we're gonna wait a bit for that as we just started, and then tune in to watch. In the meantime, we can answer some questions. So the first question already is not 4x4 related. What's your 3x3 PB? So my 3x3 PB single is like 4.1 and average 5.9 or 5.8, I think. How about you guys?
Go, Chris.
Oh, I have like a 4.41, and
That's photo confirmed.
Like low 6 or like mid 6, I think.
What do I have? I have like a 5.21 single, and then my average is like I think a 6.9, either 5 or 4. Hey, does anybody know how to add a link to a story?
Oh, you mean like swipe up and add the link? Oh, you know, I thought of that first, and then I found out that you have to make it a business profile, if you get what I mean.
What?
Yeah, I was so surprised at first too.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why many people have links in their bio instead of making them swipe up.
Oh.
Okay.
You know what? I think I'll do that.
I just spent like a minute looking for the stream, and I just found it. I don't know why I couldn't find it.
Arian is in the stream. Hey, Arian. How long is this going to be? Judging by the previous 4x4 related streams, it's going to be around 1.5 hours, more or less. Who here is going to Euros? Of us in the stream, only me. I'm leaving tomorrow, actually. So, can Nathan upload? I think he means upload. Nathan, are you going to upload? He just uploaded.
I did yesterday. I uploaded a Megaming single.
Yeah, so yeah,
go
should
check
be
that
more
out.
active.
What was the time?
Alex T. Nathan
It was
uploaded.
57.5.
Oh wow.
Okay, so we got 20 viewers, and to be honest, that's about what I expected to have, more or less, for the beginning of the stream. So we're gonna wait like 1 more minute, then we're gonna start. Is a GTS 3M viable for Rue? None of us use Rue, and none of us have the GTS 3M, I think.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Wait, Nathan, did you get to try it at like? Weren't you at
I feel like. No, I went to LA. I feel like I probably did try it. I just didn't know it.
Okay.
But I don't think I've tried it.
Okay.
That's so
Anthony,
stupid.
what are your goals for 2x2? I don't have goals for 2x2. My goal is to be able to compete without, messing up too bad. As I don't think many of you know, I injured my right wrist a few days ago, and it's still not too well. So I'm hoping to just relax and get like average times. Where is your house? Like what state? I don't live in the U.S.
Oh,
Okay.
I like New York City, so that's the extent I'm gonna reveal my location.
Yeah, I mean, if you say New York City, it's like New York City is always a safe answer because New York City is like huge. So Nathan lives somewhere in California.
There you go. There you go.
California is basically the average European country, or even bigger. So I live somewhere in Europe. It's up to the viewer. How fast are you on 4x4? That's gonna come in a bit, so you should continue watching the stream. Okay, we're gonna start the actual stream, or like I should say the topics we were gonna discuss. So the first topic is your personal experience, your personal cubing career, and how you got into 4x4, basically. So who
Chris,
wants to
go
go?
first.
Chris can go
Okay.
first.
Okay, so I got my first 4x4 like September of 2015, and then it was like a full size Moyasu, and I practiced for like a few months, and I got down to like 1 minute, and then that's when I went to my first competition. And at my first competition, like I got a 48 overall PB single, so like that like I guess sort of sparked my interest, but like it definitely didn't start until like Nats of 2017, and then that's like when I was averaging like pretty consistently like just around 40, and I was using like crappy Chi Wuchue non-magnetic, and then at US Nats I got my first magnetic, and then like that's like when I started like actually practicing, and like within a few weeks I got down to like 35, 34, and then ever since like I've just been practicing 4x4, and like yeah I average like around like 30, high 29s now. So yeah.
Okay. Nathan, how about you?
Well, I guess trying to think of how long ago I started. Let's just say maybe 4 years ago I started 4x4. So my first 4x4 I got. Have you heard of Knott's Berry Farm in like the US? Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, it's basically just like a kid-oriented amusement park, and so they had like a gift shop, and they had the like a Rubik's brand 4x4, and like it was like really overpriced and stuff. But like as like a noob cuber, like I didn't know any better, so I got it. Learned how to solve it, and then I think maybe a year later, I got the Shengshao V3, and I modded that, and then I started actually getting into solving 4x4. I think I took like a conventional route, switching from Redux to Yao, and then from there I kind of just started taking off. I think around late 2016, early 2017 is when I actually started taking it seriously, and now I think I'm around a 31 average, low 32, high 31.
Okay. Would you say 4x4 is right now your favorite event or your main event? If you would compare it to like other events you like?
Okay, so like
For both,
oh,
obviously.
so 4x4 was my favorite event for like the longest time, but like up until recent, like very recently, I've been like practicing blind, and like yeah, mostly three blind. I'm just like learning comms, so like I think that took over as my favorite event, but I'd say 4x4 is still like one of my favorite events.
Nathan?
Okay, so I'd say it kind of. I feel like it kind of just depends on how I'm feeling. Um, certain days, 4x4 is my favorite event because I feel like I've achieved a decent amount with it. But then sometimes I just get really frustrated with it. That's for the days when I feel like maybe 5x5 is my favorite, or between like 5x5 one handed, and like I'm trying to do blind a little bit more. Like I said, just kind of depends on the results that day.
Okay. This question, obviously, the question I'm going to continue on for both, unless I stop you in the middle of what you're saying. Okay. This one is a bit more for Chris, as Chris has had a major improvement in the last year, as he mentioned, but obviously for Nathan too. What would you say are key things you should work on if you want to improve your 4x4 average? Like, what do you have any specific strategy on practicing?
Okay, so first I think you should definitely get yourself like a good cube. So like any magnetic 4x4 you should get, and then so once you get that cube, just like practice your TPS. Like just like just keep turning the puzzle and like work on like executing a parity fast. And so what I did was like, so after Nats, once I got my new 4x4, I just spammed 4x4 for like the next few weeks. And if you don't see yourself improving that much, try to like vary up your practice. Like instead of doing like full solves, like maybe work on like different steps, like the cross edges and like the edge pairing. So yeah, like just mostly work on your turning, and then efficiency. That just comes with time. Like the more you practice, the more you'll see like shortcuts you can take, or like places where you can like shave off few moves. So I don't think you should worry. Yeah, you shouldn't worry on efficiency too much, but it's mostly just TPS and like practicing.
You mentioned earlier that you dropped about 5 seconds after getting your first magnetic 4x4. Would you say this was solely because of getting a better cube, or did you actually get more motivated on practicing 4x4 after getting that cube?
I think it definitely had to do with the cube and motivation. So like before I was learning, I was using a cube that like it would like lock up like every few moves, and like I can't really turn that fast on it. Like even now when I try to do solves, I get like high 30s. So like the cube isn't that great inherently. And also after I got that cube, like the cube felt amazing, which is why I decided to like make that my main puzzle. If the 5x5 that I had was like better than the 4x4, I think I would have made 5x5 as my main event. So I think it has to do with motivation.
Okay. Nathan, do you have any practice techniques for 4x4 to improve?
I'm gonna go kind of against what Chris said. What I did to kind of have a significant drop in my times was, instead of really spamming TPS, I realized that, well, a big chunk of my time came from the first 3 cross edges. So what I started doing was, after I finished the second center, I'll like kind of slow down maybe the last 2 turns, and then start looking around for the cross edge, just so I'm not going in there blind. I feel like slowing that down a little bit, instead of like turning all around the cube and like trying to do like so many moves in such a short amount of time, that doesn't really help, and it's not really efficient in the end. So I say just slow down on that. I think once you finish 3 cross edges and then you get to your centers, that's when you can start spamming turns. And then again, same thing when you get to edges. I think look ahead's really important in that, because yeah, you only have 8 edges to deal with, but it's still kind of a lot of pieces to keep track of. And then like Chris said, doing parity fast really helps, because parity does take up kind of a bit of time if you're not really comfortable with the algorithm.
I see. Would you say 4x4 has had any benefits on improvement on other events? Because some people use Yao for 5x5 as well, and basically everyone uses Yao on 4x4 these days. Would you say it has helped you at all in other events?
I mean, I'd say that like so like if you're like most people and use Yao for 4x4 and like Redux for like bigger cubes, I actually don't think it helps as much as like say practicing 7x7, because if you get good at 7x7, you can like work the skills you learn works its way down to like the smaller big cubes. But like for 4x4, it's like it's like in a weird position between 3x3 and 5x5. So like the skills you learn aren't really applicable to those events. But like I guess like the turning helps, because like you're turning a larger puzzle, and, like the look ahead as well.
Nathan, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think, yeah, just the turning helps. I also feel like in my personal experience, it kind of helped me with not necessarily the big cubes, but I think mainly just 5x5, because I feel like they're kind of similar in size, and then it kind of teaches you to slow down and really look ahead a bit into your solves, just so you're not getting caught up looking for pieces for like a good few seconds, and you're wasting like precious time like that.
Um. Okay. So the next question is about records. Now, unfortunately, for Nathan, he has a U.S. citizenship, so getting a 4x4 record in the U.S. is quite difficult. Chris, you're U.S., right? No.
Yeah.
I confused you with
Danny.
Max Schumm for a second. So sorry. So uh, have you guys held any state records for 4x4? Because I guess that's a thing these days too.
Yeah, so I do have state record for average, but single, I think Daniel Roosevelt has sub me single. But
Is that something you regularly keep track of?
yeah, it's like something that goes on between like, people that live here, I guess.
Okay. Nathan, for you?
Um,
Oh wait,
that's a
I
good
forgot about
question.
Max. Oh my god.
Was it
Before
what happened?
Max, before I forgot about Max Park.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
That
say
guy.
before Max started his great reign, I think I did hold state record average for maybe a bit because there would always be a kind of small competition for California between me, Shane Grogan, and Mitch Lane. I want to say that's the three of us. I think the last time I held it, I brought it down to like a 35 or a 36, and then after that, Max just took off. Either that or somebody else was passing me at that point. For single, I don't think did I ever hold it? No, I don't think I ever hold it. I don't think I was ever close to it.
What would you guys say are your biggest accomplishments in 4x4? Officially, of course.
I think
Chris?
official probably the best accomplishment I had was like just like the sub 30 mean. I mean sub 30 average.
Hmm.
The 29 point. I don't even remember what it was. 20, yeah, the like when I got it, like, so I had like so it all came down to the last solve, and like I didn't really expect to get like such a good solve with parity, but like I had old parity, and then I did the PLO, and when I looked down at the timer, it was like 27 now. I was like really surprised, and that's when I realized I got the sub 30.
Nathan, for
Uh,
you?
I think maybe the biggest one is just making finals last year at nationals because I feel like coming into the competition, um, I didn't feel really super confident like that I would make finals. I knew I had like a good chance, but I wasn't, nothing's ever guaranteed. And also like the previous rounds, I was getting like kind of bad averages, like probably around 33, 34. So getting into finals was pretty cool. And then when I got the 30 average in finals also, I couldn't really, I guess, process it because I wasn't really expecting that at all. Because I figured that with the finals pressure and just like wanting to maybe somehow podium, which I like, when I think about it, I knew that there's no chance. But when I like was doing my solves and I was getting like 30s and 29s and like 31s, and I was like, wow, okay, maybe this could actually be a really good average. And also just like I'm just kind of proud of the 27 that I got the round before, but I know that's like now it's not like a really good singles. Hopefully I can beat it at nationals this year.
Okay. That was that for the first part, which was about personal related experiences with 4x4, and next is methods. So I'm not 100% sure if this applies to Chris, but I'm pretty sure it applies to Nathan and for me as well. What many people don't know is that a few years ago, around 2012, was the first time that Yao was invented. So before that, people used reduction for 4x4 and actually used reduction as their main method. So how did you experience the method switch, Nathan? How
Um,
what was your average, and how long did it take you to fully switch?
let's see. So I started using, well, okay, obviously I started out with Redux. Um, it started when I got that Rubik's brand 4x4, and then I think I got down to around like a 1 minute flat average. That's when I realized this is a decent method, but there could be something better. So I used Cubix's Yao tutorial, which is where I learned you having the cross on right, which people like when they find out I have cross on right instead of left, they're like, what the hell? But yeah, and then from there, like I realized that Yao has so much more potential just because like you're essentially breaking down the cube to just a 3x3 like instantly instead of doing all the edges and then finding the cross edge and then starting 3x3 stage.
Chris, so I'm not sure you started cubing a bit later than us two. So how was the experience in switching for you?
Okay, so I actually like the first method I learned was Yao, so I never
Okay.
experienced, like the switching. Like the only form of switching I experienced was like I was averaging like high 40s, and then I was doing cross edges on bottom. So
Mhm.
and then like there were like a lot of people who were using it on like left or right, mostly left, I guess. And then I decided that it would be best to switch. So I jumped up to like mid 50 seconds, and I went back to normal. So that was like the only form of switching that I experienced.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. I think many cubers that started out like 2015 and later, their first method was Yao. So that's fine. Um, so do you split up 4x4 practice into like general practice and targeted practice? And with targeted practice, I mean like for a specific step, or do you just do full solves all the time to practice 4x4?
Um, I usually just do full solves like most of the time. Like there's some instances where I do like experiments like where I just do an average of 12 of like only edges or like the first three steps of the method. But mostly it's like just full solves.
Nathan, how about you?
Um, for me, I don't really go like I won't do like an average of 100 of just like the first two centers, like the first two cross edges. I'll just do like full solves all the time unless I'm really looking for like more efficient ways to do things. Other than that, I just find that doing full solves really, I think that prepares you better for like a competition setting because you're never gonna go into a competition like only have the centers to do or only the cross edges to do. I don't know. I just don't like. I feel like it's like kind of a waste of time.
That makes sense. Um, would you guys say there's one step that bugs you the most, like that you would say is really like blocking you from getting a lot faster? Or is it like evenly distributed over the steps?
I think for me it's the last cross edge. So like after you finish centers, you have that one cross edge left. So I'm actually like really inefficient with that. And like I always do it on the side and I never rotate even when like I know Felix and like a lot of the top 4x4 solvers like they do it on like both rotations. And then there are like a lot of like tricks you can do, but like I don't use any of that. So I think I can definitely improve that the most.
I feel like the hardest step for me, or like the one that's kind of preventing me, is first three cross edges, just because I feel like because they can well obviously they can be anywhere on the cube, but I just feel like certain cases it's kind of hard to line up the edges, and then like also just trying to figure out the most efficient solution for it, and also I just hate the fact that parity's in this queue because, like I said before, that takes up a lot of time. Not necessarily PLO parity, but OLO parity. It's like come on, look at this out. Look how long that is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Chris has found a nice trick about on that, right? The parity avoidance.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah, we'll
Oh,
talk about that a bit later. I'm gonna leave the viewers on a cliffhanger for a second. um, which steps do you guys think need like the most TPS and like look ahead? So, for example, in the previous stream, Dario and Alex mentioned they go slower turning on edges and centers, or like first 2 cross edges, I should say, and then the last 4 centers. What is your take on that? Do you have any specific way you do them?
Wait, so did they say they slow down during centers?
They said they slowed down a bit during last 4 centers.
Oh, okay. Because that was a step that I spammed the most CPS in. Like, because it's relatively easy to look ahead in, so if you have to do like quick triggers, then like you shouldn't slow down at all, in my opinion. But like for first 3 cross edges, like I agree you should slow down, mostly because like especially with like 4x4, it's like your hands might be covering like some pieces. So you have to like slow down to like look for the right pieces. Yeah.
I think the steps that you should start turning faster on. I think that would probably have. Oh wait, was that the question? Turning faster, or was it looking ahead?
The question was like, which steps do you think would you distribute? Like, if you were to distribute to for each step, like one by one, which one do you think needs the most TPS, and which one would you slow down a bit and use more look ahead?
Okay, so, geez, that's kind of hard to say. I think TPS, doing your first 4 centers, because you can easily go like this and just see everything. Look ahead. Look ahead and slowing down, definitely the first 3 cross edges, because like I said before, that's just kind of hard. And then also you really need look ahead for all the edges in general. And then I feel like once you start, if you're fast at 4x4, you should kind of know that you have to look ahead for 3x3. So just like look ahead in general for everything.
Okay. Obviously, for 3x3, there are like more advanced subsets like ZBLL, stuff like that. And for 4x4, there's stuff like last 3 edges algs that I think not many people know, and like OLL skip techniques and doing PLL parity and a PLL at the same time. Is there anything, any similar subset or like part of the subset you guys know?
I think like so for the PLL parity, Alex, like you should be able to recognize like the okay, so you should be able to recognize how the parity affects the alg and what PLL will result in the alg. And that's not really an alg set, but like you should be familiar with that. And also, I guess know all the last 2 edge on top cases. So like if you have something like this, like you should like know there are 4 algs for this, and it's when they're 2 of them are next to each other and 2 of them opposite. You should know all those cases. And like other than that, I don't think there's really any other stuff. Oh, you mentioned the last 3 edges, right?
Yeah, I also mentioned the setup move to a different OLL parity alg, and then that skips OLL.
Yeah. Those ones, like there was for that case. I mean, for that subset in particular, like a lot of them are just like 1 or 2 moves into the Drew. It's called Drew parity, the one that goes like
R2B to yeah.
Yeah. You just like be familiar with those, I guess. Yeah.
Honestly, I have no idea for like subsets and stuff. When I do my own solves, I really don't do any tricks. I don't do like the like last 3 edges or last 2 edges or like saving parity till the end or whatever. The only thing I probably do use maybe like a fraction of the time is like the what is it, Olo parity, and then like it solves the corners too, like this one. What else do I do? Occasionally, like that. Occasionally, I'll try and look for like kind of predict what the PLL is, but other than that, I just do like kind of boring solves. I don't do any tricks in it.
Yeah, guys. So as you can see, you don't need to know many arcs for 4x4 to get fast. Then there is this topic that was bit weird on the previous stream because not many people do it. It's about color neutrality on 4x4, which I think the only fast people that use it are Nam and Max, and I think Max is not even full on it. What do you guys think if someone is already color neutral on all the other puzzles, they should switch to color neutral on 4x4?
Um, I think it's easier if you're color neutral, but I don't really have experience with like switching to color neutrality. Like the advantage you gain from like switching to color neutrality, especially on 4x4, is like I'd say it's comparable to like going from like white cross to like color neutral. So I think it might be. I'm not sure if it's worth it, but it might be something that you should consider doing.
I think if you're already color neutral, you should maybe look into it and just maybe do a few solves in each color and see what it's like. Like Chris said, it is like it's probably a kind of a small difference. Whereas if you're not color neutral yet, there's no point in doing it, just because you have so many things to keep track of. Like I feel like color neutrality on 4x4 is even harder than 3x3.
Yeah.
But people like Max and Nom, like they're already color neutral, so they might as well just try it, and that just opens up their possibilities because they already started out like that. So I think if you're not color neutral yet, then don't try it. Just maybe if you want to branch out, do white and yellow instead of just doing just white or just yellow.
So yeah, that was it for the method related part, and then we're gonna talk about the hardware part, which is about the cubes. So recently, so for a while, the Wu Tray was the only like really good 4x4, and then magnets came out. I think it's a bit of an arbitrary question, but how do you guys think magnets affected 4x4 speed solving?
I think it affected it like very positively because like the magnets were like the reason why I mained 4x4. So I think it really helps, especially for 4x4.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
Oh, so I do have experience with and without magnets. So I'm just trying to think back to before was the Wu Tray the first one with the magnets, or was there something before that?
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was.
So I'm thinking back to the time of like the Sheng Shao and the very, very end of like the Diane 4x4 time. I think 4x4s weren't that bad, but now I think about it, like magnets just really help because like we have the added stability of the magnets and like we don't miss a line as much. Like Olo parry's a lot easier. Back then, I feel like doing parity and like trying to turn fast, it was kind of hard because like A, your cube would keep misaligning, and B, there was no magnets to keep your cubes like somewhat square. So I feel like 4x4 definitely did benefit from magnets. Not a whole ton, but it's helping a lot of people.
Okay. Yeah, as I said, it probably was a bit of an arbitrary question, but yeah, there are some people who do not like magnets, but in general, magnets will give you a positive on your times. So yeah, as I said, the Chi Wu Chui was the best, like the clear best 4x4 on the market. But now recently, there have been people who prefer the newer 4x4s, like the Aosu GTS M, the GAN 460 M, which has come out very recently, and now soon coming out the Mini Wu Chui. So, what are your guys' mains at the moment, and why do you choose it over other 4x4s?
So currently, I main the Cosmic Wu Tray M, and I actually main a Cosmic Alsu GTSM like for a few months, but then like after like terrible performance at a competition, I decided to switch back to the Cosmic Wu Tray M. Like overall, I think it's the most stable between the Alsu GTS and the Wu Tray. Like the Alsu GTS, I feel like it like locks up in like weird place, like when you're turning too fast. I'm not exactly sure, but Wait, Nathan, don't you main the Alsu GTSM?
Yeah, I do. I'm actually gonna say that I did the opposite of you. I mained the Wu Choi M, and then I switched. And then I went to the GTS. I very briefly went back to Wu Choi, then I went back to the GTS, just because I feel like the GTS I do have more like flexibility and freedom when I'm turning. I feel like I have how many Wu Chois? I have 3 Wu Chois. They're all cosmic, and like I just feel like it doesn't suit my turning because it's so. I don't know about your guys, but all mine, they're really slow and stiff and kind of not fun to turn. I feel like the GTS has everything that I want. It's fast. There's good corner cutting. The thing I don't like is the noise, but that's whatever. It's just really loud. But yeah, I find more people like the Wu Choi M compared to the GTS. Like when I'm at a competition, I feel like more people now, they still have the Wu Choi over the GTS. Oh, and I also tried the GAN last weekend. I think it's pretty good. I don't know if I didn't do enough solving on it to see if it's like worth the main, but I feel like the turning was more similar to the GTS, but like the silkiness and like the swiftness of the Wu Choi.
Yeah, in my opinion, as a first attempt, it's a pretty good 4x4, but it's not. I tried it briefly too, like not for too long, and yeah, it's not really comparable to the Aosu and the Wu Choi, in my opinion. So, which cubes would you say fit which type of? I mean, it's weird to describe a specific turning style, but I think it's like doable. Which cube would you say would fit like different turning styles? So Nathan, you mentioned like the Wu Chuis are a bit slow, and I agree. My Wu Chui is slow too. So would you say it's better for like a more controlled turning style?
Yeah, I'd say that. I think the Wu Choi would fit kind of a more broad range of people, just because I feel like not a lot of people like to, or they don't want to like turn fast on 4x4. They're trying to still get used to the cube and trying to find all the pieces. But I feel like once you start getting down to the mid 30s and low 30s and beyond that, I think the GTS would probably suit you better, just because you're already used to looking around for all the pieces, and now you can start turning faster and trying to get your TPS up and everything.
I think you can turn like as long as you have like a forceful, I guess, turning style, you can probably still turn as fast. Like if you're trying to like so for the GTS, when I use that puzzle, like I found that I had to like make my turning like I guess like more accurate, because like often I would overturn because I was so used to the which way M. So like I guess you would have to have like a lighter turning style for the Alsu, and more heavier turning style for the
Um, quick thing I wanted to mention, outside of the 4x4 related stuff, there have been a lot of questions in the chat. The questions will be answered in the end. So if you ask the question and want us to answer it, please stick to the end of the talk about 4x4. Then we'll answer all your questions. Um, Next up is methods, which will be a bit like monotone, as 4x4 is Yao is pretty dominant in like the fast 4x4 solvers. But then again, there's still people who use Hoya and people who use Mayer because they use Ru. Don't use Ru, guys. I can say that. I can say that now because Keen is not watching the stream. If Keen watches it back, which he probably won't, he'll get mad. But anyways, what is your guys' take on like the different methods? What are their pros and cons, and mainly about Hoya, Yao, and Mayer?
I'm not really familiar with Mayer, so I'm not gonna say anything about that. But for Hoya, I did try like I don't know, like an average of 12 with Hoya, and like I don't even think it was sub 40. Like it was just hard for me to like get used to like building the cross edges on bottom, and like So I think if you can get used to that, like the problem is like there aren't really that many people who are like good with Hoya. Like the only person I can think of is like Luke Tixon. So it probably has the same potential, but like there hasn't been as many examples as Yao. But I think like there's a lot more resources with Yao and stuff. So I think Yao like that's like the method you should go for if you want to be like fast. Yeah, I guess I'm not really sure.
So same thing. I don't have any experience with is it Meyer? Is that what that was called?
Yeah.
But I've seen a couple of videos on it. I just feel like it looks really complicated. Of course, like I don't know because I feel like it's more Yao based. If you know, I mean not Nero based, Ru based. So if you know Ru, like you'll probably understand it. As for Hoya, I also tried doing it a bit just for fun. I'm slightly faster than Chris at it. I can get probably if I really got myself down to probably a 36, 35 average at 12. But I feel like Hoya and Yao could be around the same speed. Like Chris said, Luke is pretty fast at it. It's just like the fashion in which you do your cross edges. Like Yao, we have it on the side. Then Hoya people, they have it is on the bottom. And then I don't know, it's just like whatever you first start out with, and then whatever you get comfortable with.
Like if you think about it, Hoya and Yao are not too much like too different. The only difference is your cross and your centers. So in the end, like if you are not sure about the two, which one you want to do, the main difference is in Yao you have complete freedom on your first three edges, and then you're a bit handicapped on the centers and your last edge. And for Hoya, you have completely free first four centers, and then your last edges, your edges are like a bit handicapped. So I'd say experiment a bit with both of them, and then you can make a decision. So assuming there are no new methods are going to be introduced, what what do you think the limits will be for 4x4?
If we're talking about like globally, I think Max is like he's like I think he's sub 22 global, and like
I can check the
I don't
UWR page.
I don't see a sub 20 average too far away. So probably like the maximum limit with Yao is like 19 or 18, probably 18 if you become like extremely efficient or something. And for single, you can probably get like a 14, 13 single.
Uh,
But I think that might be pushed.
yeah, so Max has an average of 1,000 of 2384.
Wow.
Nathan, what do you think about that? Like the limits?
I think the same thing as Chris. Right now we're getting close to the sub 20 barrier. I think I want to say Yao could get down to like the 17s. It's just a matter of time until someone. Oh, it's gonna take like a few things. It's gonna take like an even better cube. It's gonna take even more like efficiency and tricks. And I feel like we're just waiting for the right person with those skills to break 20 and then go down to maybe 17, just 18, 17s, I think.
Do you think color neutrality will be necessary for somebody to reach that speed?
It's probably not gonna be like necessary, but like there are probably gonna be like more people that are color neutral when you get to that speed.
I don't think it's necessary. I do feel like maybe for single you would need color neutrality just because you have more options and you can kind of start looking ahead farther into yourself. As for an average though, I don't think you really need it because if you think about it, like what are the odds that you're gonna do like all solves like not on white or yellow, and then or it's like maybe like one or two on white or yellow. So I feel like as a more consistent basis, you don't need color neutrality. But if you really want to get like to the far end spectrum of the 4x4 like singles, like then you might need it.
Okay, the next thing I want to mention is something I think Chris thought of it by himself, which is preventing OLL parity. Chris, would you like to say something about that?
Okay, so I definitely didn't think of it myself.
Oh,
It was
my bad.
it was an idea it was like already fully fleshed out when I encountered it. So the first time I saw it was like I think Jones' video on like him just like tracing and like avoiding oil parity, and then like that's when I started getting interested. So I learned that so basically you just had to like trace the edges normally as you would for four blind, and then like you just count odd and even, and like so the reason I think I'm the fastest with it because like I use it for with Yao, whereas like other people to make it easier to avoid, like they would just use it with Redux or like Hoya or like a weird method that Samuel Feng does. But so like to implement it with Yao, it's like pretty tricky because like every step until the first center, you have to be keeping track of the like the slice positions. So yeah, I just kept like developing it with Yao, and then that's where I am with it now.
So obviously, tracing 24 wings is like pretty difficult, especially if you think about people thinking tracing square one would not be doable in 15 seconds, and square one is only 16 pieces, uh, or even less if you use Kale's tracing. Do you think this is actually doable and something that could be used in the future to avoid OLO parity regularly?
As so like the most popular argument against it is like they say like the time spent to like avoid the tracing avoid the parody is like it's not worth it because it's like because doing the parody alg itself is like faster. But I think if you just like really don't like parody and you're like good at blind, then I think it could be a viable method. You just have to like you have to bring your tracing down consistently to sub 15, and then from there you just like get used to it. So like I think it could be possible, a viable method, but it's definitely not going to be common.
Nathan, I'm not sure if you knew about this uh, idea. Do you have anything to say about this? Any like, what's your opinion on this OLO party avoidance?
Yeah, I feel like it's a cool concept, but like as much as we all hate it, I feel like parity is part of the cube. So I feel like there's no real point in trying to avoid it because, like you said, like trying to trace how many wings, 24 wings. I feel like it's a lot of work, especially if you're trying to do it under pressure in competition settings. Um, I feel like even like if you screwed that up and you wasted all that time, like you could have spent that time planning your centers, planning your edges. Parity, like once you learn how to do it correctly, parity only takes about maybe between 2 and 3 seconds. So I feel like you're probably better off just doing parity instead of like trying to memo like a blind solve and like try and find odd and even, and like it's like I feel like it's just like the right now it's a mess, but maybe if somebody develops it better, maybe it could be better in the future.
Okay, so that was it for the methods talk. And next is competing, which I think is something quite a few people have the most trouble with. Um, so what's your personal experience with nerves that fails in competition? Have you had like any major fails, or no, not really?
So so like once I started getting like fast, like relatively fast, so like around 30 seconds, I had trouble with like controlling my nerves during competitions. So like one average I remember in particular, it was I don't remember the competition, but like Like so basically like my hands were like literally shaking throughout the entire average. Like no matter how much times like I took deep breaths to try to calm myself down. So I think so like to fix that, the like all the rounds after that, I just like pretend to like not care about 4x4. Like before a round, I would just say, oh whatever, I don't care what I get. And then that's like when I started getting good averages. So like I think like for most events that you care about, like just like don't really put that much thought into it, and then you'll see good averages on your way. So yeah.
Nathan, what's your opinion on that? What have you experienced?
I have the same thing. I have a really kind of deep history, or not just in 4x4, but like everything in general, the events that I care about in general, with like getting really nervous and shaking and like just like getting kind of discouraged. Um, I still remember like it wasn't the first few hours I did with 4x4, but it's when I started getting down to 36. So this is back when like Max wasn't fast and like I was still trying to like race like a couple people for like state record. It doesn't matter, like it's not important, but it was like kind of important to us, I would say. That's when I really realized that I do feel like I could get good at this event, which is I feel like why I started shaking and like getting nervous and not being able to really focus on 4x4 and like the solves in general. I felt like I was more concerned with um, trying to keep myself calm as opposed to using my time and stuff to actually plan out the solve. Um, I think very like only very recently I started to learn how to control my nerves. I just do kind of what Chris does and like tell myself like I don't care, I don't give a shit about this round. Like I can always do it again. I'll always have more competitions, more opportunities. That does help a bit. I feel like if you go into a solve with like a blank state of mind, like I've done that before, just like thinking, just like maybe think of like a white wall or like just anything but the solve. I feel like your instincts will kind of just kick in and you can get pretty decent times with that.
Okay, so you both kind of answered my next question, which was tips for competing. So besides what you mentioned about clearing your mind and saying you don't care about the solve, do you have anything else you do, perhaps for like at competition stuff? Any like maybe rituals or something to prepare yourself for the solve or for the round?
I mean, what I do is like standard. It's like I just have like a warm up cube next to me, and I just spam like the parry dialogue until like I feel like I'm ready for the solve. And there's not really much else that I do.
For me, I do something different. Instead of having a warm up cube, I kind of just like after like before the round starts, or, like as I'm waiting in the competitive area, and like after each solve, I don't really do a warm up cue, but I'll like I'll talk to friends or talk to nearby people. I feel like that's just like a good way to calm you down because you're not thinking about the solve anymore. You're thinking about just like the conversation that you're engaged in. Um, what else? I think just for like trying to keep calm and stuff. I feel like don't like I have a problem with this. Don't over expect what you're gonna get. Like don't I feel like don't assume that you'll be able to get like a PB average maybe 1 or 2 seconds above what you normally average. What you get at home, you're probably gonna get around there or 1 second slower than in comp because you have like the nerves and stuff. But just like don't get too ahead of yourself.
Okay, so that was like at competition stuff. Do you do anything at home, such as comp sims, to like prepare or like simulate what a comp would be like, so that you can handle it better?
Yeah, I sometimes do comp sims, but like it, they generally do represent what I comp.
Uh,
Like sometimes I comp like you either get like really lucky, like as in like you get no at all, or, like maybe like 1 or 2 PL parodies, or you can get like really unlucky and get like all double parody. That's really unlikely, but yeah. So like it really depends on like the luck, I guess. Not really, but yeah, I don't know.
Um, I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say, oh yeah, I think like for me, what I do is I just um, like for look ahead stuff. Like that's the main thing I do for look aheading. Like, I kind of over exaggerate it at home, so like I'll make it like a big point to actually slow down and really take my time and look around and be efficient. Whereas, so when I do that in comp, I feel like I'm not super uncomfortable doing that. Like, yeah, I'm still gonna be shaking. I'm still gonna be nervous, but I feel like I'll have more control and like I won't really forget to look ahead, which is good because pretty important.
Okay, so that was it for like competing, and then the last segment is not per se like related to 4x4, but it's something that I do with all the guests, especially now before the big competitions this year, as Euros is this. It's actually in 2 days, and Nats is next week, right? Or the week after.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your first of all, because this is a 4x4 related uh, stream, what are your expectations on 4x4 at the big competitions? Are there records? Are there gonna be any records? Are there who's gonna win them? Stuff like that.
Okay, so I think like for so Max is going to he's only going to US Nats and Asian champs, right?
Yeah, that's right. I think he's
So
not. He's definitely not going to Euros.
so like yeah, he's probably most definitely gonna win those two comps. And second place is so for US Nats, I think like the psych sheet pretty much shows what's gonna happen. So Max Park, Sebastian Weir, and then Felix Zendegs. So I think it's gonna be in that order. Max is like okay, so out of those three comps, I think a world record will probably be broken in like Asian champs simply because it's like the furthest away. So like it leaves them the most room to practice.
Hmm.
So I mean maybe Sebastian Weir can get like a world record single if he gets lucky, I guess.
Nick, what did you think?
I think okay. So for US Nats, I think of course Max is gonna get first, and I feel like after that, oh wait, that's right. There's Felix, Sebastian. I also feel like people that could kind of not, they're not probably not going to podium, but they're gonna be able to like kind
US
of
podium, I guess.
yeah. US podium. There's Jonah, Kevin Hayes. There's who else is
Patrick.
there? Yeah, Patrick. All those people. They're not probably not going to podium, but they're gonna like put up a fight. Same thing for Asians. Max is gonna get that. I know probably, and then probably on the podium's Nam, and then I'm not sure
Felix.
about.
I
Oh,
think
Felix is going
is
to.
going. I'm pretty sure he is. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure. I thought he was.
Let's leave the third place open, and then Euros, Sebastian, Felix, and then
Felix is not going to Euros.
oh, he's not. Oh, that's right, he's here.
He's
Oh my god,
WCCT, so
that's right. So yeah, maybe Sebastian, maybe Abdullah, maybe Alexandre,
yeah, I think
Dario.
second and third is pretty open, except for
Yeah.
first place, which is pretty. It's probably most likely gonna be Sebastian.
Yeah.
So any other predictions? Like, do you see any big records that are gonna be broken at any of these big three comps? Because obviously at the West Coast Cubing Tour, one of the people you would not necessarily expect to get 3x3 world record nearly got the 3x3 world record, which was Jay. He should have gotten it, but anyways, do you think like so many comps, so many rounds, so many good people? Do you think there's going to be somebody else who's going to get lucky and perhaps a bit faster than Jay and not mess up? That's going to break 3x3 world record single, for example, or any other record?
So I think for 4x4 single, I think that's like pretty up for grabs because it's like both Max and Sebastian like their records are fairly close. It's like less than point four away, but for average, I think like it's like a full second away from like anyone else. So I think it's gonna be hard to beat, especially because he barely had any parodies. I think. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I feel like Chris said, single is up for grabs between maybe Max, Felix, Sebastian, maybe Bill if he gets like no parity again. I was gonna say yeah, that's pretty open for grabs. It's just a matter of time until someone gets super lucky or like skips a couple steps, and then by then it's probably gonna be around 17, 18. As for average, that I don't think that's as open. I think probably was it Max and Sebastian. I don't know what Felix average is right now. Maybe those three, they're the ones that could probably take the average down to 21, then 20, and hopefully beyond that. I'm not sure how soon that could happen, but I think single could be broken down a bit more by the end of this year, and I think maybe average could get down to 20 or maybe low 21, maybe by the middle of next year. But we'll see because there's so many big comps coming up.
Okay, so that was it for all the segments, and now we're gonna go into the questions, which there are quite a few comments in the chat. So I'm just gonna scroll all the way to the top. So
Oh my god.
yeah, there are loads of questions. So let's okay. So the first question I see that I didn't answer in the beginning was how fast are you guys on 4x4? So yeah, you guys can go first.
I didn't really practice that much in the past few weeks, but like I'm getting like around 29. Like right now, my current average of 5 in CS timer is like 28.9. So I'm like pretty much around 29, 30.
I think I'm around 31, 30. I'm not doing super hard practice on 4x4 or just like any cubes in general. I'm just trying to like going into Nats. I just want to have like a clean mindset. I don't want to have any big expectations. I just want to have fun there.
Okay, so yeah, I haven't been practicing recently because I got injured, but before my injury, I was like 30, 33, or 34 on 4x4. What are your mains? I assume for 4x4, my main is the Cosmic Wu Choi M stickerless.
I also use the Cosmic Wu M.
I'm gonna break that, and I use the Cosmic stickerless Aosu GTS.
Combo breaker. Okay.
That's right.
Question for Nathan. Nathan, I just started 4x4. Any help to get faster? You could go back and watch the stream again if you like.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like the main thing. Like I like whenever people ask me this at comps, just like work on like look ahead on your cross edges, spam TPS on centers. Again, look ahead on edges and just keep your solve pretty fluid. Don't do any like extra moves and stuff. You don't have to do it.
Let's see. Do you think there will be better ways to solve a 4x4 than Yao or Hoya in the future? Like a completely different method that nobody has thought of.
I mean, it's possible. Like someone can make like a method that like cuts down on like 40 to like 30 moves. But like it's probably not going to take over as the main method anytime soon.
I hope there's a new method that comes out in the future, but right now I feel like Yao and maybe Hoya to some extent, I feel like they're pretty developed methods now. I can't really think of anything else that we could do to somehow solve 4x4 faster than we can right now.
Chi Wu Choi versus Wu Choi Mini, what is better? I don't think any one of us has tried both, and with that I mean no one of us has tried the Wu Choi Mini. So unfortunately, I cannot answer the question, or Nathan and Chris can't either. But I think the performance will be similar. It's just that it's personal preference whether you like the smaller cube over the larger one. Someone says, Chris, cool library. Tips on transitioning from reduction to Yao.
I mean, I never transitioned, so
Yeah, okay, yeah. For me and Nathan, I suppose. One thing that I have to say is don't get discouraged when your times are a lot slower, like when you switch at first, because that's what happened to me, and I didn't want to continue practicing Yao because I was slower with it by a lot.
Yeah, same thing. Don't get discouraged by your slower times. I also think just have an open mindset when you're transitioning methods, because after all, you are switching entirely how you're going to solve the cube. So say like you're just now learning to stop yourself from doing all four centers, doing two centers, and then going into your cross edges. It's going to be hard at first, of course, because it's new. But I think if you just stay with that, you'll get better at it. You'll see your time slowly start to drop down, and then you'll get even faster from there. So just keep going. Like, don't stop if you don't see yourself getting fast. Like, it'll come eventually.
Yeah, I think the main problem is some people slow down a lot when they switch to like with a last four centers because they're a bit handicapped, and you'll get used to it. So it's mainly just to continue solving, and you'll get used to it. Poor Nathan can't get an SR either.
Well, I mean, if Max lived in a different state, maybe I could. But
Okay, Nathan, I'm not gonna tell you who said it. I think you could guess. Nathan, why are you so freaking sexy?
I'm looking at it right now, and Ryan.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah, it is Ryan actually.
George too.
Yeah, George too. Nathan, I like your hair. What is
Yeah.
the best square one and cube now? Square one is, I think, pretty much everyone agrees it's a volt, some type of setup volt, and perhaps magnetic. A cube. It's between the Moyu and the Wingy. I prefer the Wingy myself.
yeah, same. I use a Cosmic Volt M and X-Men Wii.
Okay. The title is wrong. It should be Min Young Choi, not Chris Choi. Chris, do you mind? I think most people know you as Chris Choi, anyways.
Yeah, I've been trying to get my WC profile changed to Chris Choi, but it's like whatever.
Okay. Moving on. Okay. Nathan, did you dye your hair?
Yes, I did it last night. I got it done last night.
Oh, actually, Tibu answered that that question for
Yes,
you.
Thibaut, thank you.
Geez, it's so difficult to see where the question is at if people don't use question marks. Which is the best 4x4? I think people are gonna answer their mains anyways, so
I think it's just preference
yeah.
at this point.
It's either gonna be a setup WuChui or a setup GTSM, but in general people prefer the WuChui. So if you're gonna go for a 4x4, like a good 4x4, I'd recommend either the Supernova WuChui if you're a bit tight on money, and if you really want to get the best 4x4. The best 4x4s I've tried were Cosmic WuChui, so I'd say go for that. Any tips for the transition from Redux to Yao? We mentioned it earlier. Y'all should play crazy shooters. When you kill someone, they look like MOG.
What's that?
I have no clue, but it doesn't sound too appealing. Don't play crazy shooter.
Play Fortnite.
Play Fortnite with Tibu and Nathan and Anthony.
Yes, the SCS squad.
SCS squad. Is Square One difficult? No.
That's subjective.
Like after you learn it, it's not difficult. I get that question so often. Like, oh, this 7x7, that must be really difficult. I'm like, well, it's not difficult as soon as I learn how to solve it, you know.
Yeah.
When is the WuChui Mini coming out on SCS? I think no store currently sells the Wuchue Mini, and even many Team Chi members don't have it. The only members that I know that have it is Dario, who got them like yesterday or something. So I can't give an answer on that because obviously none of us actually work at Speak Up Shop. We're all just team members. I am sub 10 at 3x3 and 103 at Mega, so I should be at least. Oh wait, that's not a question. Geez, it's so annoying. There are like no. Okay, I see one. It's very tough to like spot the questions because there's no question marks on most messages. Any tips on trying to get sub 1 or 4x4? Assuming Yao. So
I think you just have to have your Yao Duction sub 40, and like it also depends on what you average on 3x3, but like just like turn decently fast and look ahead. Actually, I don't think look ahead's that necessary, but just like have a good understanding of each step, and yeah.
Then the same guy says, I've been trying to improve edge pairing, but I'm stuck. And then I assume he wants to know how to improve it. So how would you say you have to improve edge pairing? Nathan, you can
Oh,
go
okay.
first.
To improve edge pairing, I think, well, of course, look ahead that's pretty important. Also, what is it? I think the order in which you do it. So I think it's three. What is it?
3, 2, 2, 3.
Yeah, that, or like, I think you could get away. Like I did for a very, very recent, like a small amount of time. I did was it one? I think I did like 6 and then 2 or something. Like lining up 3 in a row, then slicing
and then
all those. Yeah. I think 3 2 2 3 2 3 3 2 2 3. Whatever it is, that's the best one.
Chris, what do you think? Because I've heard mixed opinions on this. Also in the previous stream.
6-2. 6-2. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's lining up, then slice, then replacing, then slicing back, and then you do the remaining 2.
Oh, yeah. I think 3-2-3 still because like there's there's just a lot of chances where you can get lucky and like skip edges and like. Wait, actually, so someone mentioned to me like if you have like one solved edge, it might be better to do 6-2 because like yeah, like
Yeah.
Wait, do you have it in the slot or like on the top layer? If you have it solved.
What I tend to do sometimes is actually solve one more edge, and then I solve the rest of the 6 edges without rotating. On the front, I put the 2 edges in the back, but then again, I'm not good in 4x4, so.
That seems pretty good. Yeah.
What I have heard, something that Alexander and Dario mentioned in the previous stream was they just spam TPS on edges probably the most in their whole solve because they say look ahead is probably the easiest on that step. And I've heard that from Kevin Gerhardt too. I've tried it, but I've failed miserably. So obviously it works for them, but for some people it doesn't work. Do you like the GTS 3? I have not tried it myself. Has any of you tried it?
Like I said before, I might have on accident, but other than that, I don't think I have.
Chris, you haven't tried it either, right?
Yeah, I've been 110 comp.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I think the main difference is just like the rages, and I don't think it has too much of an impact. Let's see. Do you guys reply or look at comments? Yes, we do right now. Have any of you tried the Supernova Wuchue M? I've tried one of my one guys at the comp, and it was pretty good. I still prefer my Wuchue, probably because mine was, I think, a bit more broken in, because the guy said he got it only recently. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. Has any of you tried a Supernova Wuchue M?
a stickered one. It feels pretty much like the cosmic one, but like it's like a bit drier and like faster.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not sure.
Nathan,
It's not
you?
bad.
I think I have. I feel like a lot of the supernova cubes, they're pretty good, especially since they're like a lower price point. I feel like or not just 4x4, but I tried once a supernova 5x5, and I think it was better than my cosmic one. So I feel like sometimes the supernova ones are even better than the cosmic ones.
Then someone's asking. Apparently, they added a vortex loop to the core, so like a buffed up supernova setup. Yeah, so there's this new thing coming out called Vortex. At first, I didn't know what it was either because I saw their story on their Instagram, and they had a 3x3 with a logo on a corner. So I thought it was like a new 3x3 coming out. But yeah, it's a new loop that will be coming out soon. Yeah, I haven't tried it. I don't think any of us has tried it yet. Chris, can you dab if you can smile? I think they have asked Nathan to dab as well
I'm
earlier.
good. I'm good.
Yeah, that's dabbing is like so 2016.
So long ago.
Yeah. Um. Then there's some questions in a language I don't understand, so I'm sorry. Wait, maybe I can translate it. Let's see. Okay, it's Hungarian. And do you think the square? Okay, Google Translate messed up. Never mind. It says, "Do you think square is difficult?" And I think he means square one, which was asked earlier. And more questions in Hungarian. Which method do you use for pyramids?
I use I guess last four edges L4E.
Yeah, I think the most people that do not take pyramids seriously use that. Nathan, what do you use for pyramids?
For method,
Yeah,
I use what do I use? I think it's called keyhole.
yeah, that's
Um,
basically L4E.
oh, okay, yeah, and then
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Jeez. Uh, yeah, guys. So if you have any questions to ask Nathan and Chris, do them now because we generally try to avoid having people more than once as guests because we want to introduce as many team members as we can. So this might be the last time you see them on this stream. Um, geez, that is a whole conversation that's not related to the stream at all. Uh, Tips on getting sub one. I'm learning. I think we answered that earlier. Did anyone get a GAN 354 yet? I have not.
Wait, is that the 3x3?
Yeah, the 3x3.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Nathan, did you try it at the comp you were at recently?
I don't think so. No.
No, guys. Sorry. Isn't it out on SpeedCube Shop? I think they mean the 354. I don't think it's available anywhere except for GAN's website at the moment. Okay. Geez, you guys really seem to like to have combos with each other. Such a spam in the chat. What older cubes do you have? I have quite old cubes. I have like a Shengshao 4x4 and 5x5. I have a Guhong V1. I have a Zanchi. Um, Let me check. I have an old plastic Diane 2x2 that's broken. Uh, yeah, that's basically it for me.
Oh, well, I started like collecting puzzles in 2015. So like the oldest one I have is like the Dion Zanchi, and like that's pretty much it.
Nathan, you've been cubing for a while too, so
Yeah, I had. Well, I think what I have in right now. Let me see. Actually, let's see. I have for older cubes. I have Shang-Shao 4x4, 5x5, Rubik's like old Rubik's Brand 3x3, the Zanchi. What else is in here? I think that's it. Oh yeah, look, here's the 4x4 that started it all.
that's a Shang-Shao one.
Yeah,
CubeSmith stickers. Oh my god.
Yeah. Remember this, CubeSmith?
Yeah, I remember. I ordered like a shit ton of stickers from there once, and then now I've switched to all stickerless. So I have like a bag of stickers that are never gonna be used.
Yeah. Or there's this, like doing your own modding stuff. Oh.
Yeah, Chris never experienced that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is not good.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Before competing, do you think, I'm not gonna get nervous, and then you go and get nervous?
I think something like that did happen once. Like I was like telling my I was about to do a 4x4 round, and then like the entire like 10 minutes before, I was just like, "Don't get nervous, don't get nervous," and that was like the average where I like my hands were like shaking and like I kept like dropping the cube. So I guess that did happen.
I've done that before. Just like kind of psyching yourself up, but not in a good way. Like you're just telling yourself like please don't screw up, please don't shake, don't all that stuff.
Yeah, I've had that happen too. For Chris, do you see yourself as a potential world record holder in the future?
No.
Yeah. No pressure. No pressure, Chris. No pressure. What's the best way to improve look ahead? Do you think slow solving is viable? Yeah. Before anyone says anything about this, I think you all should look at.
Oh shoot. Oh wait a second.
You should look at.
1 second.
Yeah, sure, no problem. We'll switch to Chris. Because I have the camera on Nathan. You should look at Kian's video about slow solves. He says that slow solves are overrated, and I think it makes some sense. Have you seen the video?
No, I haven't. I saw it pop up in my feed, but I don't think I've clicked on it yet.
So yeah, to summarize it, he says it's something along the lines of, if you do slow solves, you get used to doing your moves slower, and therefore when you turn faster, you will not be used to the regular speed. And then he said you should actually turn faster when trying to improve your look ahead. So I'd say watch his video and then see what works for you. Okay, Nathan is back.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. The question was what tips you have to improve your look ahead.
Maybe just turn a bit slower so you can get used to like looking for what you need to have next instead of focusing on what you're doing at the moment.
Yeah, so this is just something some people do different than others. So yeah, as I mentioned, Kian thinks turning slower will not help you. So I'd say watch his video and then make up choose what you think will work the best for you. Let's see. All the best for the big comps, guys. Thank you. Let's see. For Yao, should I use half centers if I want to get faster? Do you guys use half centers?
I don't use half centers like at all, and there are some cases where like it might be helpful, but like generally, I recommend not to use half centers.
What's half center? Is that like when you?
Half centers is like when you do a 2x1 block and then another 2x1 block of a different color and then another 2x1 block for a different color, and then you finish everything off.
Oh, I feel like in certain cases that could be helpful, but for me, I just like what do I do? I'll pick the one center that has like 3 pieces or 2 pieces even, and then just build. So I'll build going forwards. Like I'll do like this one first, then I'll move down to like that and that one and that one.
I do the opposite of what you do. Like
Or you go like forward.
yeah. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
do 1R every time.
Okay.
Yeah, what I have to say about that is you should definitely not look at it like black and white. There's definitely like a gray area in between. You should not do it all the time. You should definitely like not do it at all. It's better in some cases, and if you already have many 2x1 bars done, you should definitely try to go for half centers. So yeah, try. I use half centers occasionally when it comes out the best. Um, but yeah, just make sure you know how to use it anyways. Um, for Chris, what is the best magnetic 2x2?
I heard the MGC the YJ MGC 2x2 is really good, but like out of the ones currently available, probably like the Waypo M, I guess.
Is learning 6-2 for edge pairing easy?
Ah.
Uh, it's it's you don't really have to learn anything. It's just like a concept, I suppose. You don't need to learn any algs for it or something.
Yeah, it's just like getting used to it.
Yeah. So no, I guess. Um, Tips for sub one, we already said that. Yuxin Blue M is Bay. Yeah, the Yuxin Blue M is not too bad, but I don't I don't know except for Ariane Chabra and Kevin Hayes. I don't know anyone who uses it. Um, Actually, talking about the Wu Tray, did anyone get the mini version yet? Of us three, no. And of the people I know, Dario has gotten a few, and Mats I think should have some. Um, okay, let's see. What is this? What are you averaging at 4x4, all of you? Yeah, we already answered that. Somebody sent it in the chat too. Thanks. Um, Splits for 55-second average. I assume Yao, so we're gonna go with that. Um, 15-second 3x3 stage and
Yeah.
40-second Yao duction. Yeah,
Yeah.
that basically. The Yao duction should be like 12-second or maybe 10-second first two centers and edge and cross, and then maybe another. I don't know. Maybe split the first three steps, or like first two centers and cross, and then last four centers and last edge, and then edges all up in like 13 seconds basically, and then throughout three stage 15 seconds. I think that's fair. Cam was the one who offered the. Oh wait, that's not a question. Uh, how do I get fast with cross edges on bottom?
You
You
can't.
don't. You just switch to cross edges on left.
Actually, I know Lucas Eder used to do cross edge
Yeah,
on bomb. I don't know if he still does. He's pretty fast.
Well, Luke is not cubing that much anymore, I
Yeah.
think. Can we go back to Princeton so Min Young and I can be close in 4x4? Yeah, Brandon Nunez asked if you can go back to Princeton so you can be close with him in 4x4.
I'm actually signed up for Princeton, and I think it has 4x4, so we'll see what happens.
Didn't CubeSmith get shut down like a year ago? Like years ago? I think so, but these are like uh, older cubes. Anthony, goals for Euros. Uh, yeah, not fail. That's it. Make 3x3 finals. Goals for Asians, Anthony. I'm not going to Asian champs. And can you please come to India? I get this question so often. Like, like the Instagram thing where you can ask questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, like half of the questions were something close to that.
Mm.
Can any of you guys beat Max Park at Pira? I think
What is the average?
I don't think he has
has.
even ever competed in Pyramid.
Yeah, he always just has his main, like the main 3 through 7, and then like one-handed.
Let's see.
He has score 1. That's actually kind of
Does
funny.
he actually have score 1?
Yeah.
52. 52 second single.
It's like
When
he
did
learned it.
Oh yeah, well that was like 5 years ago. Anyways, I think all of us can. Wait, Nathan, do you know why Max like doesn't do like any other events? Does he just like not like them?
He probably just like maybe he doesn't like it, and he probably just doesn't like have an interest for it. Oh crap! Hold on, sorry. Tebow is like talking.
Chibo, you're in the stream. He already was in like a previous Square One stream. So.
I know, making a second appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't have an interest for it. Maybe like the 3 through 7 fits him better.
Mm-hmm. When getting an OLL with all edges orient, do you tend to try to recognize the ZBLO case, assuming the case is from a ZBL subset or just do normal OLL?
I mean,
yes.
If the ZBL I know, I think I'll do the ZBL and see if I get parity. But most of the time, it's just normal.
I think this is not like on 4x4. I think this is just for 3x3.
Oh, wait.
So, yeah. Yeah, I definitely do that, and I'm pretty mad at myself for doing that because sometimes I still try to recognize a case, even though I know very few Alex from that subset. Nathan, I don't know how many ZBLs you know. Do you know like?
Probably like below 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe like if I like find out an accident or like learn like a specific case that I find like easy to recognize, I'll learn those.
Christian also does cross edges on bottom. Okay, is he good at 4x4? Wait, Furshin, isn't that the guy who once or got second at Square One at Worlds? But is it? Yeah, it is. His average on 4x4 is 30.1. Oh shit, that's pretty good.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah. What cube would you say is the best for one-handed?
The Volk.
Yeah, the Volk or some type of Volk, like.
The Volk power. I use the Volk power. It's pretty good.
Oh hell no.
Well, I use a Volk power M with a Volk 3 core and Volk 3 centerpieces, which is basically what I use for all 3x3 related events except for feet. Kian really likes the Supernova Volk 3 M, which I think is kind of funny that I think he prefers it over the Cosmic Volk 3M. I'm not sure why, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, I would say go for the Supernova Volk 3M, as it's pretty cheap and it's the world record cube. So.
Or even without magnets.
Yeah, even without magnets. Yeah. I think Kian was solving without magnets for a while. Is the GAN 460 good, Chris?
The outer layers are like the outer layers are really good, like way better than the Wu Tray because they're really fast. But like the main problem is like when you're like doing like the centers, like you get like really bad lockups and like it's like really stiff, if you know what I mean. Like it can't corner cut that well. So I would say it's good, but like since it's so expensive, it's like not worth getting.
Yeah, Nathan, you don't have too much experience. You don't have too much experience with the GAN 460, I suppose.
Just like a little bit of turning.
Yeah.
I liked how it felt, but I do hear bad things. Like I said before, like I didn't have too much experience with it or like time to play with it. It was just like during scrambling and like picking up like the random cubes every now and then.
Yeah. It's. I think it's not worth it either because it's pretty expensive. It's like I'm pretty sure it's over $50, and that's without a setup.
Yeah.
Ivan Lee does cross edges on bottom and left low and has a 27.99 average. Well, good for him. In general, cross on the side, whether that's right or left, is better. Okay, so what cube do you recommend that is quiet and good? Quiet.
Or
Three by
what better?
I'm gonna suppose 3x3. With all pain in my heart, I'd say an RSM. But
Yeah.
but in my opinion, like I've heard from people that main the SM that it gets really bad if you use it for a long time. Like it wears out quite easily, and I don't know what causes it. So yeah, in my opinion, the Valk 3 Power. That I keep recommending the Valk 3 Power M with the Valk 3 Core because it's when I tried it, it was like a flawless 3x3 for me. So yeah, it's also really quiet. So I'd recommend that. But the only issue is you have to get 2 cubes unless you already have one of the 2. Orion, what do you? Or sorry, Chris, what do you? Yeah, so I got a bit confused because of the tag you made.
No, that's right.
Chris, what would you say? What would you recommend for 2x3 that is quiet and good?
I'd say the Ganner SM, but like I think if you're okay, so if you're going for a cube that's quiet, then like yeah, I guess I'd still say the Ganner SM. For sure.
Okay, so get your last questions in because we're about to stop with streaming. So I'd like to ask questions to Chris and Nathan. Here's one of your last chances. I'm not sure if you'll see me either because the only reason I'm hosting these 2 streams was because Kian was unavailable. So get your last questions in. Also, how the heck do you do blindfold? Any tips at all? Does he mean like he doesn't know how to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded, or
What was the question?
how?
Oh,
How the heck do you do blindfolded?
Okay,
How
so,
do you do BLD? Just watch like a tutorial, and it's a bit difficult to explain like off the bat.
but I have some tips
yeah,
that
it's just
like okay, so first of all, you have to use steps. Don't use anything else because like
yeah, steps definitely.
you're gonna end up like kicking yourself because of it because like it's like hard to follow like the lettering schemes like but actually it doesn't matter too much but try to use like standard steps and also move on to Orozco corners and edges after you reach like 2 minutes with OPM2.
Okay.
what's that?
Orozco? I don't know what that is either.
So that's basically like it's like that's basically palms, but like it only uses one target for each buffer, and like so basically full freestyle is like just Orozco but 26 times for each letter. So
Okay. Okay.
it's like a good intermediate method.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Who will win Euros? And I think he means for 3x3. So who will win 3x3 at Euros? I think the win is really open.
Maybe Philip or Wire
Yeah.
or Sebastian.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like Philip can win it, Sebastian can win it, Alexander Collier can win it, Matt can win it, even Kevin Gerhardt can win it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm hoping Matt because he hasn't won 3x3 at a major competition, and yeah, or Kevin would be fun too. But yeah, I'd say I wouldn't say Philip because he has already won it, and I like somebody new to win it. What do you think about the new WRs by Max? So obviously talking
Um,
about the 5x5 average, the 7x7, both of them, and 6x6 mean.
I feel like from a personal standpoint, because I'm around it so much. Of course, it's always like impressive and everything, but now it's just like whatever. Because he's so fast, he's gonna keep breaking them no matter what. Any comp he goes to, he's gonna break something. But still, like props to him for just being able to break them constantly over and over without getting like tired of it or all that.
Hmm. Chris, what do you think?
I think like it's insane how much progress he made just in like the last few years. Because like I was looking at his profile, like just 2016, like he like barely had like a 250 average, but like now it's like almost a minute faster, and then like that's like more progress than anyone has ever made in like those cubes. So I think he's doing a very good job, like moving cubing forwards.
Yeah. Nathan, how was head to head with Max? I have no clue what he's talking about. What Nathan?
Have I done head to head with Max? He might be referring to Nisei Week.
I think he means like not necessarily like head to head like a knockout, but like if you're in a podium final.
Oh,
I think he might mean that. I'm not sure.
maybe he's talking about the last comp, like last week. I was solving right next to Max. Like, I don't know. I don't really get phased by it. Like the people all right there, I do feel a bit of pressure. I know it's not on me though because they want to watch Max, but like, it's just kind of cool seeing everybody like wanting to watch him all at the same time.
Um, is the GAN 354M worth it? None of us have tried it, so we can.
Oh, I did try it. I just remembered. I did try it.
Okay, tell us about it.
I don't like it. I was
Okay.
expecting more of a feeling like the
SM,
356 SM. I tried Max's actually. I don't know how to describe it. It feels really dry and like really stiff. It didn't have the same like flexibility and the like you know how like the SM is like really matted down. Like you don't really hear it.
Yeah,
Do you remember the Fang Shi? That's what it kind of felt like to me.
yeah, I
I
remember
might
the
have
Fangshi.
maybe I had like a distorted view on it, but I didn't really like it that much. It didn't seem like a full replica.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I don't know what this is referring to, but Chris probably knows. Did you like AP World?
Oh my gosh! So
What's that?
I almost don't even want to talk about it, like because I had such a traumatic experience.
AP
It's like
World History?
yeah,
Oh God.
Wait, what?
I got such a bad grade on the final exam.
Wait,
Basically, this
it's a
is
class?
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like wait, have you taken it?
I
Me?
don't think
Oh wait,
that
I
you
you
don't
guys.
guys
have
have.
I don't have that. It's like a completely different school system. So
Oh,
It's basically like a college class, but in high school.
yeah, I know what APs are, but like he said World, so
Oh, world history.
okay.
So yeah.
I mean, I thought I liked it until I saw my score. Like
What was the score?
it was so it's out of five, and like four
Oh
out of
no.
five. Like, like
4 out of 5?
no, I got a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Hey, you passed. It's fine.
No, I
Uh,
spent the entire year just like my teacher was so bad. Like I think that's the
Oh,
reason why. Like she
okay.
barely gave me like practice tests, and like
Uh,
she like, for the entire class, like she just talked about like her kids and like irrelevant stuff generally. So yeah, I really didn't like that.
worst mistake you made when you started out cubing?
Not being color neutral. I think that's a
I
big.
think that's to anyone who started out on just a few colors. I think that's the biggest mistake. Like straight up.
It's like also like quitting. I guess for a year. Like I might have been like a lot faster if I didn't quit. That
And
was
then what would you say was your biggest mistake when you started out?
Maybe not when I started out, but when I started learning F2L, because I feel like I just wish I took a more efficient approach to it because a lot of the cases I have right now and like the algs for them, like they're really inefficient and stuff. So I just wish like maybe I looked at more like F2L tutorials or like diagrams just for like saving moves and time.
Geez. Okay, we're gonna stop the stream at some point, like in a bit, because you know we have been going for let me see, 1 hour 45 minutes. So
Already?
yeah, already, yeah, and that's like
God.
not even with the time me and Chris were like the two of us. So will I be able to beat my 33.25 official average from November 18th this weekend or not? Yes.
Of course.
Yes. Believe in yourself. Do you still practice even when your homework isn't done? Homework?
Oh.
What's that?
What's homework?
No, I'm generally somebody who doesn't do homework like too much. But that's because we don't get graded on. I think, don't you get graded on your homework in the US?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. It's just for ourselves. And like most of the subjects I have are like more like understanding the concept of something and then applying it. And if that's something I understand, then I'm not gonna make homework because I already understand it, obviously. So, how about you guys? I assume you guys don't in that case.
So like my school actually gives like a ton of homework. Like there's some nights where I remember staying up until like 3 or 4 doing homework.
Jeez.
And, like those nights, like I don't know why, but I practice. Like I tell myself, I'm just gonna do this after 12 and go back. But then like I start getting good solves, so like I keep going, and then like before I know it, it's like already like 12 or something.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know that.
For me, I ideally I would finish all my homework before I like start queuing. But what I really did was I do a bit like a couple like literally just like 5 solves before I start, and then I'll do like 5 when I need like a break. Like if the homework's too hard or like I don't feel like doing it anymore, I'll do like a few solves. Ideally, I would have it just where I do homework and then use cubing as the break.
Give me 1 second because for some reason I got off I can't see the chat. Okay, there we go. Chat is not loading. Okay. Uh, let's see. Will I ever be sub Min Young in 4 through 7? Question by Brandon Nunez.
I mean, he's already subbed me in 5x5. Like he got like a 56 average, so he's
Huh?
already subbed me there.
Really?
Yeah. He and if
Oh,
so
hell no.
and 6x6 and 7x7. I mean, like if you practice, like I don't practice those events anymore because of blind, so probably will sub me actually.
Okay. Then Kevin sends a bunch of messages. Kevin, win Euros, please, or let Matt win. Otherwise, I'm gonna be mad. That's it. Uh, that's all I wanted to tell you. Now that you're in the stream, anyways. Thanks for believing in me. No problem, sir. Okay, I don't see. Okay, one more question. The last question. Is celery good for you?
It is, but it tastes bad.
Yes. You know, chocolate is good for you too. However,
Dark chocolate.
it's good for you in a different way. It's good like for the soul, you know?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so if your parents ever tell you to not eat chocolate because it's bad for you, tell them it's good for your soul. It's not
No,
good
but
for your
dark
body.
chocolate's actually like kind of good for you.
Yeah, but I don't like dark chocolate.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
still a baby boy eating milk chocolate.
Oh
that
no.
actually likes dark chocolate. Like, let's be real.
I love dark chocolate.
What?
Um.
Disgusting.
Okay. So. I'm still, to be honest, okay. So this is the actual last question because uh, uh, this question was like not related to cubing at all. So, Chris, did J Perm's critiques help?
Um, yeah, I think it did. It helped me look at like the main thing I was doing wrong was like spending extra moves on F2L. So I think it helped my F2L become more efficient.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think it did help.
Okay, so guys, I gave you a few chances. This was the stream. I hope you guys learned something from it. The links to Chris and Nathan's socials are in the description. Chris, you don't have an Instagram, right? Or do you?
I do, but
It's like cubing related Instagram.
yeah, it is.
Okay,
I mean, it
okay.
doesn't matter.
Do you want more followers?
Um, maybe.
Okay, guys. Then wait. What is your Instagram? Chris,
Um,
is it just Chris Choi?
it's Chris Choi 314. I think that's the username.
Okay, I found it. Okay, guys. If you want to follow these guys on Instagram and on YouTube, their links are in the description. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanks to Nathan and Chris more for wanting to come here and tell you guys all about their knowledge on 4x4. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next month with the next event, which I don't know off the top of my head what it is. I think it's blind, and then you won't see me because Keen will be back. So see you guys in the next stream. Bye.